What's up, folks? Welcome back to Scarlet and Great. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. And as always, thank you for being a part of this channel and rooting on the Buckeyes with us. It's been an awesome season. Not what we hoped for, but what a thriller of an end. We're going to unpack the Rose Bowl, the thrilling victory, and what's next for the Buckeyes. We're going to tease that a little bit. A little later in the week, hopefully we'll do a show more getting into coaching changes and everything. But Florida Corey and myself today will go ahead and unpack, like I said, just the awesome, entertaining spectacle of the Rose Bowl. Not awesome if you love defense, but I think we knew what we were getting into on that. So if you guys do me a favor, we'll go ahead and get a lot of likes on this video. I'd love to push up the likes on this video to help grow this channel. If you thought that was an awesome game, go ahead and give this video a like. And let me say that again. If you thought that was an awesome game, go ahead and give this video a like. I'm trying to nudge my production crew. If you thought this was an awesome game, all right, I'll do it myself. Like this video if you loved that game. and like this video if you love that game. And before, you know what? Screw it. We're just off the rails here. I'm going to go ahead and bring Corey in since he doesn't want to do his part. Hopefully he can be a good co-host. So Florida Corey, here you are. Corey, they should like this video if they loved that game.
For those of you who don't know, when I'm off air, I got to click that little button. I didn't even see that there.
I thought you might not have. I thought I should have mentioned it, and I was like, you know what? I'll just say it twice, and he'll get it. But you were probably on your phone.
You overestimated my intelligence.
You were probably on your phone playing like normal.
Yeah, this is a play of games. Yeah.
Before we got...
I'm going to wing this.
Yeah, there's an ongoing joke. Before we went to YouTube, guys, you should have seen Corey when we just were audio. Ironically, now we're video only. But Corey, when I used to talk, Corey would be like this. Just, I mean, on his phone, whatever. But here he is. He's engaged because how could he not be? Corey, what an awesome game that was.
I was definitely engaged with that game. That's for sure.
Look, why? It was meaningless.
It's true. It's meaningless. For those who say it was meaningless, don't you feel better after a W? Or would you be okay with it being an L? And like, it's meaningless. Who cares? I mean, let's be real here, Johnny. If we did lose that game, most people would be saying, it was a meaningless bowl. I didn't care anyway. Even though they were on the edge of their seat the entire game.
Right. If it was meaningless, why are you beating the tape?
Why are you on Twitter complaining?
Yeah. Why are you talking about how good some of the individual performances were if it was meaningless? You told
NFL scouts look at that game. It's like, just throw that tape away.
Yeah. Oh, what is this a bowl game? Hey, what's this highlight? Hey, they're not in the same conference. Is this a New York Six Bowl? Turn it off. I don't want to see this tape. This is meaningless. Jaxon Smith-Njigba had 0 receptions for 0 yards yesterday because that was a meaningless bowl, and it meant nothing to him. It meant nothing to Ryan Day. It meant nothing to the players. No, should have just sat out. It meant nothing to CJ Stroud to bounce back after it was meaningless. It was meaningless.
I think Ryan Day should have sat it out and opted out. He could have got injured.
He could have hurt his throat calling plays. It could have hurt his ability to get to the NFL.
That's true. Yeah. Actually, it almost did in the first quarter.
So, I mean, obviously, Corey and I never once thought this game was meaningless, and that take is getting old and tired. You can say, well, it's meaningless to people who are first-round draft picks, and there's a finer line there.
Still
but
not
I think
meaningless.
It's
less
not meaningless.
Meaningful than millions.
It's less
of
meaningful
dollars.
to them. Yeah. But it's a game to go do what you love. And, a lot of people give grief to Desmond Howard and Kirk Herbstreit for what they said. But, Howard said, look, we got rewarded at the end of a year with a bowl game. You've done good all year. Here's a bowl. It's not guys. What if you're just a Missouri fan? What if you're an Ole Miss fan? What if you're just, Arkansas Razorback fan? These games aren't gimmies. And for you, just because some of the fans, and I'll say it, some players get to be associated with the Ohio State University and programs like it, they'll get to something like a New Year's Six Bowl. It doesn't mean a lot. Guys, this is not a gimme. It is earned. And I do think, for someone to say, oh, I don't get to go for a national title, I'm going to, that phrase, Corey, I'm going to take my ball and go home. That's exactly what it is. I'm going to take my ball and go home. I mean,
This is the infamous reset button on Nintendo. If you didn't get a perfect score or something like that, you just reset it.
You're just starting the PlayStation over because you didn't hit the Hail Mary at the end of the game. Saved my perfect season. We've all done it. We've all done it.
I've done it.
NCAA football. No, pick 60 in the game. Restart. No, we've all done it. But sometimes, look, that's why you press through, because that was awesome. Now, the defense wasn't awesome. It was frustrating. They got better in the second half, but, was never great. But some individual performances. I'm going to go ahead. I don't know. I said before the game, because Ohio State fans and sports fans in general are the biggest prisoners of the moment. And I said, before the game, you can check the timestamp on Twitter. Soon as Jaxon Smith-Njigba balls out, oh, he's better than Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. And lo and behold, there it was. I will go ahead and say, though, that is a performance that had me going like bug-eyed the whole time. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I saw your selfies.
Yeah. And that's not to say if Garrett Wilson didn't play that game without the other two, or Chris Olave didn't play the game without the other two, that he doesn't go off. But still, I just got to take a moment and go, very, very rarely does a player make you go, what? Like, I wasn't even celebrating. That last throw from CJ Stroud to Jaxon Smith-Njigba over the shoulder, the opposite side of the field, both the throw and the catch, I couldn't even celebrate. I was so in awe of the greatness. Corey, have you ever seen a player? Is that the single, besides, I know everybody's, because of meaningful impact, they're going to go to Zeke and Bama, but was that the single greatest individual performance you remember witnessing at Ohio State?
By a receiver, maybe. Yes.
Well, certainly. Yeah.
It was just, I think the circumstances surrounding it were incredible. Like, you don't have your other two guys to take attention away from you. And that's not a knock on Harrison and Ibuka and Fleming, for that matter, who played well, especially Harrison, my goodness. But it's Njigba, the dude. They know he's out. They know who the dude is now. And he's, I don't care. The funny thing is, they didn't really bracket him or anything. They just played straight up single coverage on him with a depleted secondary. It's like, that's playing Russian roulette. And
really
you just but you put 5 bullets in instead of 1. And you caught him once, napping a little bit, and he fumbled. But other than, imagine what his numbers are if he gets that play, and he doesn't get called back because he's got a fumble. I mean,
yeah,
all of a sudden he's got 400 yards and 17 catches or whatever it is and 4 touchdowns. It's like, I'll say this because of this game, this meaningless game, he definitely goes into.
It's too bad it doesn't count.
Yeah, he definitely. There was a time where bowl game stats didn't count, so we'll just be glad that they do now. But imagine if he goes into I imagine he goes into next season as the unequivocal, indisputable number 1 receiver in the country. I don't know how you even debate it at this point. He didn't need all the attention taken away from him by Olave and Wilson. He just flat out went out there as the number 1 guy. They lined him up all over the field, and he just dominated. He didn't just play well; he dominated. He even when we needed a quick first down or something, he'd shake his defender loose. It wouldn't even matter. And now I'll give Zach Smith credit. He did say that the secondary for Utah was not great, and we're gonna be able to have success in the air. I don't think he anticipated this much success. I don't think anybody did, but credit to Jackson. He is the truth. And now you got guys like Yoder putting out. I don't know if it's a troll or if it's a serious suggestion that he should go the Jamar Chase route and sit out for a year.
Well, if you were a Michigan fan, wouldn't you want Jaxon Smith-Njigba to sit out? Yeah,
you definitely want him to sit. I'm anticipating Michigan to get COVID again and sit out against Columbus anyway. But anyway, that's a podcast for another time. And that being said, no, I look, if the game was so meaningless, then he can't possibly sit out because that performance doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Doesn't mean anything. So the
I'm
NFL
surprised he
scouts
played.
I don't know.
CJ shouldn't have played.
Like we said, Ryan Day shouldn't have played. But,
He should.
anyway, no, but I think that first of all, he's going to want to play next year. Some of these kids do love football, believe it or not. And second of all, he's going to want. I mean, look, he just destroyed some records, Ohio State records. He's going to want to go lead. He's going to want to. There's an aspect since he can't go pro right now. There's an aspect. Don't you want to become the greatest receiver in Ohio State history? I mean, he could statistically get to that point where it's like not even in dispute anymore.
I think the move would be get to the 6-game mark, lock up that first receiver off the board draft, and then dip out, go somewhere and train. Right?
Yeah, exactly. The second you tweak a hamstring, it just dip.
Yeah, rolling ankles. Nah, nope. So Corey, going from prisoner of the moment of one great performance, let's go to another one. CJ Stroud. Save for I mean, it's not a perfect game, but it was another game that was like jaw dropping, the accuracy, the ball placement. I'll go ahead and look, people are prisoner of the moment. Like, oh, he's going to be the best ever. He's better than you don't know how what people do. They see a good performance and they think it's automatically better than what I used to see. And it's guaranteed that people will progress upward. You know, Zach Harrison's like, hey, that's not a guarantee that you'll progress upward. You know,
even when you take things seriously.
Right. And credit him for not sitting out. But anyways, so we don't know that CJ will just take leaps and bounds, but I will say, I will give you the proper context of where he is the GOAT, guys. He is the best clean pocket college quarterback. For this season was the best clean pocket college quarterback season anybody's ever had of all time, ever. I can say that definitively. The accuracy that he displays in a clean pocket, you can't call a go route on 4th and half a yard unless you know. Like, isn't that so risky, Corey? The ball's in the air 38 yards. Oh, why don't we just move the sticks? You know, even if it's a pass, a quick out. No, I know that my quarterback, there is no chance he misses that throw. I mean, so Ryan Day's seen it. Yeah, that just shows you Ryan Day knows how good he is. Even he was shocked at the JSN throw, but just all over the field. The guy, if there was a skills competition, no pass rush, just drop back and like hit a paper plate, I'm confident he would beat pretty much any college quarterback I've ever seen. Maybe Sam Bradford.
He's just wildly accurate in that pocket. You're not joking. I mean, he's like a mix of Fields and Haskins. Doesn't quite have the arm as Haskins, but he's, wildly accurate. And Fields, he's got that touch that Fields had as well, but maybe a little bit better. And perfect arm motion, everything. His footwork looked good yesterday, especially when he's scanning the field. His best game of his young career so far. Video game numbers, obviously. Still a little concerning that we have to just air raid, but that being said, if you're that good at it, we needed it yesterday because we were getting down so much that we needed to score quickly.
Yep.
And he had 3 straight passes that were touchdowns, and
nearly 4.
You can't go any quicker than that. Yeah, nearly 4. So, look, we were down on him early. What he showed me in this game was the grit and toughness I needed to see from him. I hadn't seen it. Like when he scrambled for that first down, he went head first just to make sure he got it. If he would have slid, not got it, I'm like, oh, dude, come on. You got to go get the first down.
Par for the course,
Yeah, I was like, you need to go. And he went and just got it. And again, I was saying that, look, that's all we want from you once in a while. If it's nothing's there, go get it. The pocket collapses, go get it. You have the athletic ability to do that.
And I want to restate something, right? Herbstreit and Fowler will be poking fun at it during the games. Buckeye fans are upset that he doesn't run more, and they want some more quarterback run, but you can't draw it up when you got this good of a passer and receiver. I'm like, listen, guys, nobody is over there screaming for Ryan Day to give more design quarterback runs. What people were discouraged about is when there was green grass and a first down for the taking or 6 yards for the taking, he wouldn't take it. Nobody in their right mind would rather that kid run than throw it most of the time.
Yeah.
That was never the complaint. I hate it when people, it's like when you can't defeat an argument, you just mischaracterize it.
No, and people are grossly mischaracterizing. We're not asking for. They think because of Braxton Miller and J.T. Barrett and Justin
That we
Fields
just
once in a while, we just
want
want the
that.
zone read all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Gosh,
It's like no, I was sick of the zone read by the time JT left, and I never was a huge fan of it to begin with, but it worked for a time. And I'm thrilled we have a pocket passing offense. I'm thrilled by that. It's just I don't want a quarterback telling me it's not his job to go get a first down. I mean,
right. And that would be what would keep him, because he's already got, at least on par with Dwayne's accuracy. And not quite the arm strength, but he's got that. A little more mobile than Dwayne.
Got more than enough arm strength, though.
More than enough arm strength, more than enough accuracy.
Yep.
His next steps are going to be one, he must hate DeJuan Jones or not trust him. Because every time DeJuan Jones has his man blocked, but like Stroud can see the block happening out of the corner of his eye, he just rolls right into the defensive end. Just step up. The pocket's clean. If he can clean up pocket presence and continue to get like competitive edge and desire, he could go down as the best QB ever because he's that accurate. I mean, is disgustingly accurate with the football.
Go ahead.
It's just I can't say enough superlatives, Corey, about how pinpoint he is.
Next year, if he has another great statistical year, they go off, they win the Big Ten, he gets the Heisman, they go national title, win the national title. I don't even think it's a discussion anymore. It's like, yep, there's our best quarterback ever.
Pending you don't see these holes in the game,
Well, I mean, if he accomplishes all of that and he's the focal point of the offense, it's hard to dispute it. I mean, especially if he's putting up another 50 touchdown. I mean, he only had only 44 this year or whatever. But and that's minus 2 games that we normally get. So we'll see what happens. But he's on pace to being that guy. But next year, hey, I'm not blaming him totally for this year. Our defense didn't help us, but help is on the way starting today, January 2nd, in the form of Jimmy Knowles stepping in there in that role. But I will say this, going to the defensive side of the ball, which did not help CJ hardly at all yesterday, but did get a couple key stops. I'll give him that in the second half. And I'll say this, man, the first half, granted, you have to credit him for 28 points, not 35, because there was a kick return that inexplicably got returned for a touchdown because that little white guy is incredibly fast. It just, my goodness. But that being said, I had tweeted out, this is the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. This is unbelievable. Like, where Utah, every time they get the ball, you're like, they're going to score. It just this is what it is. It's Utah. They have a middle-of-the-pack offense, like 48th in the country or something like that. They have a middle-of-the-road offense, and you made them look like they were unstoppable. And I think I got most disgusted on that 4th and 1 quarterback run where he looked like, okay, he got the first down, but at least you stop him for a couple yards, and he just breaks it and just goes off like Herb Street versus Minnesota style. I was looking at that going, I hate this. I don't use the word hate very often, but I hate this defense. This is unbelievably bad. I can accept that you're not very good, but can you at least look like you're trying? And a couple guys did look like they were trying. Cade Stover belongs on defense. He is obviously a player on defense. He'll never be that at tight end. Nothing against him, but he looked like a linebacker that wanted to hit somebody. Tommy Eichenberg, we dogged you earlier in the year. You kind of deserved it at times, but hey, against a run-first option offense, 17 tackles is nothing to shake your head at. Taron Vincent had a nice game. Looked like he took a step forward, hopefully. Cam Brown and Denzel Burke finally got it together.
Did you like Vincent flexing while he's down 14?
Okay, that...
It's just a sign of the generations, right?
Not necessarily. Green Bay had a linebacker named Nick Barnett. When we were down 44-6 to the freaking Eagles, he makes a tackle behind the line of scrimmage and does this dance chop thing that like he just did something great. And then he started talking trash to the Eagles offensive lineman, and you could see them in the huddle with a sky cam laughing at him.
You know what that reminds me of is I wish I had it for Taron Vincent at that time Now, granted, he had enough moxie and the defense came back, but that clip of somebody like screaming after a dunk and Kyrie getting the inbound pass and going, "Hey, you're down by 28, bro."
Yeah, I don't want to see no flexing when you're getting your tails whipped like that. But you did step up in the second half, only allowed 10 points. 7 was to a backup quarterback you probably didn't prepare for. But again, there's several guys that look better in this game. Look like they played. JT to him allowed looked pretty good. Sawyer, before he got ejected, actually showed a lot of hustle. And I think we're going to be fine next year with Mr. Jimmy Knowles now in charge. And I hope he just walks into the door that first day of winter training and goes, "Guess what? I didn't recruit any of you.
Mm-hmm.
We're having tryouts." So, who wants the starting spot next year?
Yep. And, some defensive staff shakeups. We don't know exactly what's all coming down. There's been a teaser you and I got today, more of just a reading the room.
Well, we know Barnes is off to Memphis.
Good for him.
Credit Dylan Freeman knew that like 3 days ahead of time before it came out.
Yep. And kind of reading the room is also someone has kind of hinted out, I think Combs is gone.
Yeah.
And so you just wondered, hey, is Jimmy Knowles bringing somebody over? Yeah. So maybe Combs stays, but he certainly, I would think, have to take a demotion and pay, I would guess.
Huge pay cut. Yeah, there's no way you're $1.4 million for that. Yeah.
We don't know if LJ's retiring or not.
I think LJ's come back for 1 year. We just got a commitment from Amari Abor in the Under Armour All-American game. I gotta believe
big time pickup.
If we hold on to him now, Texas A&M is going to get a visit from him, and they're going to throw a lot of money at him. But that being said, he wouldn't have committed in the first place if Larry said, "Yeah, I'm done." So.
Yeah, that's unless he really likes Al that much, and now Al is sliding down or something. But yeah,
maybe it was Heartline now.
We don't know if Al's sticking around. We would think so. I would think
Stud might be gone too on the offense.
1 to 2 defensive coach is changing. Yeah, and Corey, we started to record. You said some Notre Dame guys were rumbling that.
Yeah, there's rumblings around Notre Dame fan base that Justin Frye is coming to Ohio State from UCLA. He has a history with Ryan Day at Boston College, a history obviously with Chip Kelly, whom obviously is Ryan Day's mentor. Mm-hmm. Justin Frye also, Zach Smith and him were GAs at Florida. Mm-hmm. Actually, and so he knows a little bit about him. I think Justin would be an excellent pickup as the offensive line. He's a 38 years old offensive line coach. Probably going to have to make him co-OC to get him the money he deserves with Kevin Wilson.
Yeah, because he's OC at
he's the OC at UCLA, but I mean, where's that going? I mean, UCLA's been kind of average at best with Chip Kelly. You can go to a program where you could become a head coach in the next few years, and you could also challenge for national titles.
Let's be honest, we need a new line coach. I think
we need a guy who can recruit really well, who's a young guy who can identify with younger kids. And I'm not trying to. I think Stud's done a better job than what he's given credit for. But there are some slips and there's some holes in the fence here that need to be addressed. Or what's the phrase? I don't know, but chinks in the armor, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, there you go.
Michael Scotting it again. But anyway, that being said, there's definitely some slip-ups here that we need to address. Right. And I think a young guy with new blood would be perfect. And, hey, I don't think you really want to look at the rest of the offensive staff and complain. I mean, quarterback playing great, so Corey Dennis could stay. Receivers playing great. Brian Hartline, obviously. Tony Alford, the running backs are good. And he's still recruiting at a high level. And Kevin Wilson, I'm sorry. I don't know why the fan base doesn't love that guy, but he's still one of the best offensive minds in college football. So,
I wonder if I think we need a new OC or offensive line coach to enhance the running game. I am not in love with the interior starters next year, and I think that good coaching and good development is in store for them, or needed for them. I mean, needed for them.
Be interesting to see who's at tackle. DeJuan comes back. He says he's 50-50, and it baffles me why you think
he needs to come back, and then Paris.
He looked like sometimes an unathletic fat kid in the Rose Bowl. I mean, he looked like he was stumbling around a little bit. Not that he's a bad player, but if you want him at right tackle, and then you want Paris to move out to left and get a full offseason, prepare for that. Donovan Jackson hopefully slips into a starting role at the guard spot.
Yeah, I might be more excited about that than the combination of Jones, Weipler, and Miller.
Yeah, let Miller, Whippler, and Jones battle for those last two spots, and Josh Bryant throw him in there. Enoch Viamahi maybe gets in there. I mean, but Donovan Jackson to me is like, you're the right guard, you're good, stay there.
Yeah. So Justin Frye hopefully is the move. That would be awesome for Buckeye
Mhm.
fans. That would be the staff and talent. I think all of us with the youth this year have kind of, pretended to be Browns fans and said next year is the year with the 2022 Buckeyes, right?
I actually do
Because
think Jimmy Knowles could possibly make a case that next year could be the year for Ohio
that, well,
State.
no, that and Stroud's development and
Such
these
a
young
young,
receivers
talented team.
development,
I mean,
and
how does Harrison Jr. not have you excited for next year, right? I mean,
right, yeah, Henderson's development, the
he's
defense
running
getting a year older.
it,
Cam Brown coming
Harrison,
back is huge.
huge. Harrison Jr. runs routes like he's a freaking NFL vet already. I mean,
He does.
It's almost like he had a father who had a lineage in the NFL or something. It's really weird.
Like he
how
did.
he's this advanced.
I mean, he was running routes in the backyard, maybe
I don't know.
as a kid. I don't know. No way. There's no way that's accurate.
No.
Almost like you got in trouble for sloppy routes growing up or something like that.
Don't make me get the switch, son.
Oh, well, Corey, anything else before we pack it up?
I do want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
I went from thinking this was an ugly win to this is a beautiful win. And I'll tell you why. It's not because they played perfect, because they certainly did not. Mm-hmm. It's not because there wasn't some things that made me upset, because there certainly were. But they were down. They were not playing well. They went in 14. They had 14-point deficit going into the half, and they showed fight. And they decided to say, I'm not in a quote-unquote meaningless game. We are not ending the season this way. And they came back and they not only played better in the second half, they fought incredibly hard and they never let up. I'm not saying there weren't mistakes made. Mistakes don't automatically mean no effort. That just means you made a mistake. Right. But I saw effort on that team, and I saw a young team that said, I can't accept losing 2 in a row. I got to get this bad taste out of my mouth. Even Munford said he played because he wanted to get that bad taste out of his mouth from Michigan. It meant a lot to these guys. And Johnny, Utah is a good football team. Yes, we are more talented. Yes, we should beat them worse than that. But
they
at the same
smoked
time,
Oregon twice.
They smoked Oregon.
That means something.
Exactly. But this team said, you know what? We're going to win this game. And DeMario McCall, of all people, who didn't get the playoff and became a leader at halftime and said he got in people's faces.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think it's a beautiful win for showing the toughness, grit, and fight that they really needed to show Ohio State fan base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say everything going on in that game, all the nuances, made me go, this is the kind of game we lose. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of game we've lost all year. This is like the Oregon game. Oh, we missed a 4th down. Oh, we missed a wide open shot to win it. Oh, Jaxon Smith fumbled into the end zone. Oh, 4th and 1 goes for a touchdown. I mean, this is the kind of game we lose. We fight, but we lose. And for them to kind of flip that on its head and go, no, this is the kind of game we win, trailing most of it, that is pretty cool. Maybe it's probably what a lot of these young guys needed going into next year, although it never really happened because it was meaningless and no one cared. But it was exactly what they needed.
Like the Matrix, there is no Rose Bowl.
There was no Rose Bowl. It didn't happen. We made like that sci-fi clip. We made it up. We made it up.
That trophy doesn't exist. Those rings won't. You'll never see one of those rings.
Nope. They'll be at a tattoo shop somewhere. Oh. All right, buddy. It's good to see you. We'll hopefully get back at this here a couple days and do another video talking about the coaching changes and what's next for the program.
Yep. Amen, buddy.
All right. See you guys later. Goodbye. God bless. And as always, go Bucks.